How is it going? I hope everyone is doing well, and thank you for tuning in this video. Today I'm here with my AEW Double or Nothing 2020 pay-per-view review. Without wasting any more time, I'm going to jump right into things. Of course, before the main show started, we did have the buy-in, which was 30 minutes prior to the event, which featured the #1 contenders match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. Private Party taking on Best Friends. This was a good match on the buy-in. You know, both teams had a pretty good match overall. You know, the big story was that Trent lost his headband, and that never happens in any match. So the fact that that happened was a pretty big deal. Private Party, you know, I thought they had a pretty good performance, but I feel like in this match specifically, you can definitely tell the inexperience they still have. Obviously, in due time, they'll get more experience and they'll get even better than they are right now. But I just feel like in this match, their inexperience kind of showed. I thought they did a nice tribute to Shad Gaspard by hitting, you know, Crime Time's old finish. So I thought that was a nice little touching tribute to him. But yeah, good stuff overall. But towards the end, Best Friends end up hitting their finish to get the win and become the #1 contenders for the AEW World Tag Team titles. So the future match between them and Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page should be a great one. But yeah, overall, like I said, good match on the buy-in. And looking forward to that future AEW World Tag Team title match between Best Friends and Kenny Omega and Adam Page. Obviously, that would lead into the main show, which opened up with the Casino Ladder match, which I don't know why. It took them forever to get to this match. Like, it was like 10-15 minutes into the pay-per-view before the match started. Why it took so long to get into it, I don't know. But they took a long time to get into the match, which I was very intrigued in because obviously the winner became the #1 contender for the AEW World Championship. But the rules were very intriguing as well. Obviously, 2 men started. Every 2 minutes, a new person came in the ring. And the match could end at any time. You didn't have to wait for everyone to come in to retrieve the chip. You could have retrieved that at any moment in the match. So I thought that was a nice touch and definitely made things interesting. And I think that'll definitely be utilized in future Casino Ladder matches. But obviously, ironically enough, Frankie, Kazarian, and Scorpio were the first 2 competitors to start the match. The order of entries went Kip Sabian was number 3, Darby Allin was number 4, Orange Cassidy was number 5, Colt Cabana was number 6, Joey Janela was number 7, Luchasaurus was number 8, and the surprise person in this match, which was number 9, being Brian Cage, accompanied by Taz. So that was your complete lineup of the match. And overall, I gotta say, for the very first Casino Ladder match, I thought it was good. You could definitely tell in this match that, you know, there's things that need to be worked on future ones in terms of just, you know, timing or just, you know, playing things out. Because I feel like in this match, there were a lot of moments where there was a lot of standing around waiting for stuff to happen, which, you know, I don't know. It just doesn't come off good to me, especially the Orange Cassidy. Okay, obviously Orange Cassidy is a comedy gimmick. I know his gimmick. I know who he is. But in this, I feel like in this situation, it doesn't work because it's funny, but then it's the point where it's just infuriating because it's like, dude, there's a world title match on the line, and you're just like, I don't fucking care. Like, when Orange Cassidy came out, everyone was taken out, no one was up, but he was in the ring just like, yeah, I'm gonna stand on this ladder. He just stood on the ladder and just put his arms up trying to reach it. It's like, dude, like, it's funny at first, and then it just becomes infuriating because, like, okay, just get the fucking chip, dude. You're the only person in the ring. You could win this match and get a world title match. Stop fucking around. So, I think it's infuriating for me personally, just because it's just like, okay, I'm all for comedy, but you need to take it seriously too. But Darby Allin, when he came out, he just went absolute apeshit, did a huge spot where he jumped off the top of a ladder with the skateboard and just absolutely crashed and burned and ate shit. So yeah, Darby Allin was the MVP of this match, if you ask me. Kip Sabian, I thought he did a lot of waiting. I thought his waiting was very noticeable out of everyone else's. Like, there was a spot where he was climbing the ladder and, like, he was climbing as slow as possible, just waiting for the next person to come out. But as soon as the next person came out, trust me, he was climbing that ladder with no problem. So I just thought some of the stuff was people waiting around. That was kind of ridiculous, and I don't know. It was very slow. But you know what? I thought everyone had their moment to shine. I felt like when everyone came out, they had their moment to do something to make their they give them a reason to be in this match. You know, I thought they did a memorable moment. Was what I'm trying to say. Is, you know, they did something that made you remember why they're in this match. So yeah, everyone had a moment to shine, but I just like the structuring of it and just the way the match, you know, was. It's just overbooked as well. You know, Marco Stunt interfered, and, you know, Penelope Ford and, you know, Jimmy Havoc got involved. So I just feel like at times it was overbooked. And like I said, I know it's the very first one, so obviously in due time, when they do more of these, they'll kind of perfect it and get, you know, get better at doing it. But, you know, I feel like they could have done better at the standing around. And I just feel like there's a whole lot of waiting, and I feel like in wrestling, the one thing that wrestlers shouldn't really be doing is waiting around. I feel like they should, you know, not be smart, because I don't want them to say they're stupid, because obviously I'm not a wrestler. I don't know the mentality. I don't know what it takes to be in the ring. But I just feel like, you know, you should be able to structure yourself and take the time to be like, okay, you know, I gotta still wait for the spot. I should probably take my time and, you know, make it seem more realistic, not, you know, me just standing around waiting. Just, you know, I don't know. I just like it to be structured better is what I'm saying. But Brian Cage looked like an absolute beast. He got buried on top of a bunch of shit. He broke out of it. Joey Janela did a cool spot where he did the DVD driver. Not driver. What is a driver? But it did a DVD Death Valley driver onto the casino chip where, you know, Brian Cage was laid under all the shit. I thought that was a cool spot. Brian Cage broke out, destroyed everybody, pretty much killed Darby Allin. He threw Darby Allin, who was on a ladder, onto another ladder, thought it absolutely killed him, retrieved the casino chip, and became the #1 contender for the AEW World Championship. And it's already been confirmed that that match will be happening at Fyter Fest. I don't know if that's going to be like an iPay-per-view or like a free event or maybe a Dynamite edition. I don't know what it's going to be, obviously, but we do know he'll be getting his title shot fairly soon. So Brian Cage makes his AEW debut. Not only does he make his debut, but wins a title opportunity in Casino Ladder match. So like I said, overall, it's a good match. Like I said, in due time, we'll see improvements. And, you know, obviously when they get used to doing this match more often and, you know, they perfect it. But for the first time, I thought it was a good match. Could have been better, though, I thought. But, you know, I'm not going to sit there and complain too much about it. Next, we had MJF taking on Jungle Boy. This match took me by a huge surprise. I was not expecting this match to be that good, honestly, but these two went out there and had a great wrestling match right from the get-go. It was a very, you know, easy game of what you can do, I can do better. You know, they were pretty much mimicking each other, and then, you know, they were just having an awesome story being told. You know, MJF obviously is that piece of shit heel everyone hates, and Jungle Boy, you know, even though he's not, like, getting a huge push, like, he's over. He's one of those guys that, you know, even though he could take loss after loss after loss, but people will still love the guy. So I thought these two, both their characters definitely played well into each other as well. And I thought it was just a great wrestling match. I absolutely loved it, which I never thought I would say for an MJF match. I never thought I'd really enjoy an MJF match, but I thought him and Jungle Boy went out and really showed me up. And, you know, MJF worked on Jungle Boy's arm, which would play greatly into the match. And both their selling I thought was great as well. And of course, the huge spot was where Jungle Boy hit a reverse Rana onto the apron, and it looked like it killed MJF, looked like it broke his neck, and just excellent stuff overall. And I love the finish too, where they're kind of exchanging pins, and MJF somehow just was able to hold down his legs and his hands to get the pinfall. So he didn't really cheat. He got a clean win, but it protected Jungle Boy in a way as well. So, yeah, great stuff overall. And, you know, one of the best matches in the show. One of my favorite matches as well. So, Jungle Boy, MJF, like I said, they showed me up, took me by surprise, and delivered a great wrestling match. And then we would lead into the TNT Championship Tournament Finals. Cody taking on Lance Archer. Of course, Mike Tyson presenting the championship, which, by the way, that championship looks absolutely terrible. I know the championship isn't complete. Honestly, my main complaint is that front center plate. That center plate is the only thing that looks bad. I think the side plates look cool. I don't mind the red strap. Just the center plate looks absolutely terrible, but everything else looks fine about the championship. Obviously, like I said, it's not finished, so they will be improving it, you know, whenever they're able to. But first initial reaction to that championship is it does not look good by any means. But yeah, the match itself between Cody and Lance Archer was a good match, but I don't know. I feel like it's a typical Cody pay-per-view match where it's long. It has a lot of, you know, interferences and, you know, kind of just screwed up booking. I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of the same Cody shit every time, which it's not necessarily bad. There's times where it works, you know, and there's times where it doesn't. It's worked in previous matches like with Dustin or, you know, even the match of Shawn Spears at All Out. You know, I enjoyed that one for what it was. But then there's matches where like this one and, you know, the match with MJF I wasn't really too fond of either, where it just doesn't really work. And I feel like it didn't really work here. I mean, the story was fine. Now, I'm not trying to make it seem like it was a bad match. It wasn't bad by any means, but it wasn't a great match. It was good. It was good. And I don't know, I guess I kind of expected more out of it. Right from the get-go, you know, Archer hits his finish. It's the, I forgot what it's called, but it ends up hitting his finish right away. And Cody rolls out of the ring because he knew he'd be fucked if he didn't. And then the match would pretty much, you know, be Lance Archer working over Cody, you know, pretty much beating him down. Cody had his comebacks, did the spot where he ended up being a bionic elbow, which is followed by the Final Reckoning, which was a great callback to Dusty and Dustin. Archer kick out of those two. Ended up hitting Crossroads, which Archer kick out of one, which was just mind-blowing that he had a kick out of one. They brought a ringside, which, okay, if there's another huge complaint I have about AEW right now is the referees, do they not fucking know how to enforce rules? They brawled on the outside for like half the match, and the referee never even initiated a count. Like, come on. Stuff like that, it's like AEW needs to be on their game. Like, if it's like a no DQ match, whatever, but it's like, you need to enforce those rules. What's the point of rules if you don't fucking enforce them? So, and that was a big problem in the world title matches as well. I'll get to that later on, obviously, but the referee really did not give a fuck. Jake Roberts, you know, was yelling at ringside. Arn Anderson was yelling at ringside. You know, just those two going at it. Two spots, I guess I should say, that I really loved was when Cody hit the DDT and he was just staring Jake Roberts in the eyes, and then Lance Archer hit a spine buster and was just staring down Arn Anderson. I thought those were two great spots. But you know, obviously Anderson and Jake Roberts get involved, and they end up getting ejected at ringside. Mike Tyson, he's snoring at ringside. He doesn't really give a shit about what's going on. And then, you know, I don't know, just some overbooked shit. But obviously, finish came. Archer was going for his finish. Cody was able to counter it into the crossroads, but kept his hold and ended up hitting a second crossroads. And 1, 2, 3 became your first ever TNT champion. Like I said, it was just a good match. I just felt like it went on way too long, and just like some of the overbooked shit, like with Jake and Arn getting involved, just didn't need to happen. Even Mike Tyson got involved. Like, it didn't need to happen. I understand why, but it just didn't need to. And I feel like it kind of dragged on and kind of ruined the match a little bit. So that's just my personal opinion. But yeah, Cody, first TNT champion. I'm all for it. As soon as they announced the championship, I was like, Cody has to be the first person. You know, it's just sometimes it's evident. You know, I remember when NXT announced the North American title, I thought first person for sure was gonna be Adam Cole, and it was. So some championships, you know, it's just made for that person first. And I felt like with Cody, the TNT championship was just made for him right away. So Cody is champion. I'm looking forward to it. Should be an exciting time. But yeah, good match, but it could have been better if you ask me. Kris Statlander taking on Penelope Ford. Britt Baker is supposed to be in this match originally, taking on Kris Statlander, but obviously she got injured on Dynamite, so she was not able to compete in this match. It was a fine match. There's some sloppiness, and you can tell, you know, Penelope Ford was just still kind of green. And Kris Statlander, her alien gimmick just does not go for me. I just don't really care for it, so it kind of took me out of this match. And, you know, the highlight of it, honestly, was Kip Sabian. I thought he was pretty funny at ringside, you know, threatening to use his crutch, and he was, like, pretending to shoot Kris Statlander with her. I thought that was pretty funny, but, you know, the match is just whatever. Statlander got the win with the Big Bang Theory, not really a big win, I guess, because Penelope Ford doesn't really do much, but, you know, it's a win for Kris Statlander. Yeah, not much to it. Shawn Spears comes out. He's scheduled for a match with Dustin Rhodes. Comes out, you know, cuts a promo. He's just trying to be funny. Dustin Rhodes, music hits. Shawn Spears like, oh, you guys always fall for the music plays when someone's cutting a promo talking crap and the music plays. Oh, you guys always fall for it. So funny. I'm Shawn Spears. I'm the perfect 10. Sorry, I don't really fucking like Shawn Spears. I think the dude just sucks, and I don't know. I can go on all day, but this isn't a Shawn Spears rant. But yeah, he's just trying to be funny, and then he's trying to get a cheap win because wins matter here, which popped me when he did say that. But yeah, referee starts to count, but then Brandi Rhodes comes out, and then Dustin Rhodes comes out. Dustin Rhodes. Did I say Dusty Rhodes? If I did, I meant Dustin Rhodes. Dustin Rhodes comes out and doesn't sneak attack him, but hits him from behind. The match starts. It's pretty much just Dustin Rhodes beating the shit out of Shawn Spears. You know, he takes his clothes off, strips him. He has Tully Blanchard printed over his dick for some reason. I don't know why. It's just, you know, an embarrassment for Spears, and there's too much of his ass showing too. I didn't like it. Dustin Rhodes got the win with the Final Reckoning. That's all you need to know. And then we go to the no disqualification, no countout match for the AEW Women's World Championship. Nyla Rose defending against Shida. This match was really good. Caught me by surprise. I wasn't expecting it to be pretty as well as it was, but they engaged me, and they definitely utilized the no DQ stipulation, which is pretty much all they did, which was great. No DQ matches, you should be utilizing the stipulation the entire match. You know, they fought to the outside. A lot of kendo stick shots were involved. A lot of kicks and a lot of running knees from Shida. I lost count of how many running knees Shida did to Nyla Rose, but Nyla Rose, they fought into that casino chip that Brian Cage was on earlier. Nyla Rose took a pretty good spot onto it from Shida. So it was a pretty good brawl. I enjoyed it. They had a pretty good portion of the time as well. Nyla Rhodes just looked like an absolute beast. You know, she was taking knees like crazy, a lot of near falls. But then Shida just absolutely waffled her with a fucking kendo stick shot to the head. One final running knee, and 1, 2, 3. Shida is your brand new AEW Women's World Champion. Very happy. You know, Nyla Rhodes, I've been vocal. I haven't been a huge fan of hers. I don't really care for her, honestly. So when she became a champion, I was just like, whatever. So the fact that Shida's champion, you know, it kind of gives me a reason to care for the championship again. And you know what? She's good. I'm not saying Nyla Rose isn't, but I think Shida definitely has the tools to be a better women's world champion match quality wise. So I'm looking forward to a reign from that aspect. But yeah, overall, very good match. And Shida becoming the new women's world champion was a nice surprise. Speaking of world championships, we go into the AEW World Championship match. Jon Moxley defending against Mr. Brodie Lee. Like I said earlier in the TNT title match, the referee did not give a shit in terms of the rules, and it applied here as well. Moxley and Lee brawled throughout, you know, around ringside for the majority of it, and the referee didn't simply give a shit. You know, there's several times the match should have been ended in a DQ or countout, but the referee just didn't do his fucking job. But the match itself was very good as well. It definitely felt like a fight. You know, these two went out there and were kind of just beating the shit out of each other. They weren't really trying to wrestle. They were just, you know, laying huge blows in onto the outside. You know, they had some cards where they were printed out on, and they were just putting themselves through that. Lee kind of gave a huge fallaway slam on the Moxley through a table, or not a table, a guardrail, which looked like a nasty spill on there. So it was a nice fight, and it spilled back into the ring, and it spilled onto the ramp, and they brought him to the ramp area where Moxley hits a huge paradox shift onto the ramp, and they go through it. They go through the ramp, which I thought was a great spot. You know, obviously Moxley comes back up first. You know, it gets back in the ring. Brodie Lee comes back up. He's just spilling blood out of his face. They get back in the ring. Moxley hits another paradigm shift, but Brodie Lee kicks out, and Moxley hits another one. Brodie Lee kicks out again, but Moxley puts him in a rear naked choke, and Brodie Lee just passes out, and that's the match. And Jon Moxley retains the AEW World Championship. Like I said, great match. You know, even though the build at that thought has been lackluster, I haven't been enjoying the Mr. Brodie Lee character. Like, I've always loved Brodie Lee, but just his gimmick right now I have not been caring about, and it's actually made me not care about him at all. But this match brought me back into him. So hopefully if he's delivering bangers like this still, you know, it'll keep me invested in his character right now. But yeah, Moxley, great title defense from him. Obviously, him and Brian Cage is a title match at Fyter Fest. I don't know what to expect because Jon Moxley versus Brian Cage is a match I never really thought about in my head before. So I'm very interested to see how that plays out. But yeah, Moxley and Brodie Lee definitely was a great world title match, in my opinion. And of course, I led into the main event, which was the Stadium Stampede match. The Elite and Broken Matt Hardy, of course, taking out Inner Circle. Inner Circle coming out was fantastic. Them coming out like they're ready for a football game. And Elite came out minus Hangman Adam Page. Didn't come out with the Elite or Matt Hardy. And the match starts, and there's a ring in the middle of the field, and just a huge brawl erupts. And I will say, right from the get-go, you know, everyone's talking about how this is the best cinematic wrestling shot so far, and to me this match really wasn't shot cinematically. There wasn't really like effects, and you know, it wasn't shot like a movie, obviously, like, you know, the Boneyard match at the Firefly Funhouse was. I think a better comparison would be the Money in the Bank ladder matches from this year. I mean, obviously that was still kind of more cinematic, but I thought that match was more, you know, seemed more like a wrestling match than obviously the other two. So I feel like if you're going to compare matches, I think the Money in the Bank one is more of an accurate match to compare it to, because I feel like those matches were shot, you know, more similar to that aspect. So I don't know. I just feel like, you know, comparing the Boneyard and the Firefly Funhouse to this isn't really accurate, just because I just feel like they're shot completely differently. But this match obviously did have cinematic aspects to it, obviously, but this was fantastic. This was an incredible stuff. I had a lot of fun. This was all over the place, all over the stadium, a bunch of crazy spots where I can't even begin to tell you all the crazy shit that happened. You know, Adam Page rides on his horse and chases down Sammy Guevara, but poor Sammy Guevara, star of the match, just because of the bad luck he suffered, all the shit he had to endure. That was absolutely hilarious. Hangman Adam Page stopping at the bar, that was great. And then, of course, you know, Jake Hager right into him, and they'd have a huge brawl at the bar, which Kenny Omega would get involved in. Just a whole bunch of craziness. You know, Matt Jackson Matt Jackson, obviously he didn't do it all the way there, but he gave Sammy Guevara suplexes, Northern Light suplexes all the way across the field. Obviously, like I said, he didn't actually do it, but the way they shot it and were able to input it into like everything else that was going on, I thought was fantastic. They did like a reincarnation spot, which did not look in good taste, because obviously for the spot they had Santana and Ortiz drown Matt Hardy in the pool, which obviously what happened with Shad Gaspard recently, doing something that involves drowning wasn't the smartest thing to do. But obviously they were doing it for like reincarnation, and the glimpse of Matt Hardy in the water doing the poses as he was changing, I thought were pretty funny. But yeah, that was fantastic stuff, you know, with Matt Hardy, you know, taping Ortiz in the chair and then taking out Santana. Just, oh man, a lot of great stuff in this match, and I can go on about how awesome this Stadium Stampede match was, but I'd be here all day. They even did an instant replay spot where Chris Jericho was arguing with Aubrey Edwards about a 2 count that he thought was a 3 count. They went to the booth and everything. I thought that was a nice touch. Rick Knox penalized Matt Jackson for all of his Northern Light suplexes on Sammy Guevara. Just a whole bunch of craziness in this match. And I can't, you know, even, like I said, if I went over every single crazy thing that happened, I'd be here absolutely all day. Finish came where, you know, Sammy Guevara thought he was the only person left standing. He thought he was a sole survivor, thought he was the winner. Then Matt Hardy and Kenny Omega show up in the golf cart, chases his ass down. Sammy Guevara gets you know, chased down by everyone, and then Kenny Omega ends up getting him. Hits a huge one-winged angel off of, I'm not even sure what the fuck he jumped off of, but did it onto the field. Not on the field, but I forgot what fucking area, but it was a pretty big fall, honestly. Hit the one-wing angel, got the pin, 1, 2, 3 in the Elite and Broken Matt Hardy, defeat the Inner Circle in what was a spectacular Stadium Stampede match. Absolutely awesome. Definitely one of my favorite matches so far. Might be my favorite match. I don't know. I feel like we've had so many fun matches this year. It's really, and not even just fun, but incredible matches. It's really hard to narrow down which one truly is one I had the most fun watching, because I've had fun watching so many matches this year. But this definitely you know, contends for #1 without any doubt. So yeah, that is AEW Double or Nothing 2020. Overall, I gotta say the show, I thought it was great. I thought it was a great show. You know, not the best AEW pay-per-view so far. You know, I think All Out or Double Nothing from last year still ranks #1. But this definitely is up there. This definitely was a great show nonetheless. Not taking anything away from it. I thought it was a great show. I just felt like it was a little too long. This show was like 3.5 hours long, which I didn't feel like it needed to be that long. I feel like there's a lot of things, you know, just stretching out. I felt, you know, there's a recap period like during the middle of the show too, or at the end of the show, sorry, before the main event, where they recap the entire show for like 10 minutes. And like I said, for the opening match, the first 10-15 minutes was just, you know, hyping up the casino ladder match. So I feel like there's a lot of stuff that could have been cut to dense the pay-per-view down to a 3-hour show. So that's just, you know, one little thing I nitpick about it, I guess. But overall, like I said, nonetheless, great show from AEW. Definitely has me excited to see, you know, how they do going forward. Obviously, like I said, Fyter Fest is their next show. I'm not sure if it's like a actual, like, you know, free show like they did last year with it, where it's a free pay-per-view, or if they're gonna have it be like a special Dynamite edition. I don't know how it's gonna go, but I'm interested to see that show. Obviously, like I said, you know, John Moxley and Brian Cage will be headlining that match for the World Championship, so I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please feel free to leave a like below, and of course, until next time, I'll see you guys later. Thank you guys for watching the video.